Hey, this is Caleb with Stain Seal Experts. We're out on a deck cleaning job today, and it's actually a strip job. So I just wanted to show you how we're going to handle this job and some of the chemicals we're going to use. First, we're going to use our wood stripper, which most of you know what it is, but this is a water-based coating on here, and it's only about 1.5 years old, so it's going to be a tough strip. So we're going to add our secret ingredient here. This is called Butyl Boost. It is basically a solvent for water-based coatings, and it will really help soften up this water coating. So normally we might pre-wet a deck like this, but it rained last night and it rained this morning, and it's about 35 degrees. So we're not gonna pre-wet this one. We're gonna apply our chemical, and we'll give you the mix ratio in just a few minutes. We're gonna let it sit as long as it needs to sit, and once we start using the heel of our boot, we can see that that coating's gonna get soft. Once we know it's soft enough, we'll go ahead and we'll power wash it off. And once we get all the coating off, we're going to be real careful not to blow everything up on the house or in the patio. We just got to be careful and mindful with the power wash wand. And we're going to use as low a pressure as possible. Everybody asks me about pressures. I don't know. We're going to use soft wash tips. I'll show that to you. Once that's finished, the deck's clean, we're going to add wood brightener. This is oxalic acid. It's going to brighten the deck. You've got to do this. It neutralizes the stripper, and it's going to brighten the wood up, open the wood grain, make it look really nice. And then once it dries, we'll come back, we'll sand this thing with a floor sander, hit any spots of stain that we couldn't get up, then we'll stain it. We're going to do the fence and the deck on the same day. It's going to go back a walnut color. So excited to do this one. So we'll move on, and I'll show you our mix, what we're going to do on our chemical ratio. All right, so we're gonna put our wood stripper in. We're just gonna use a basic pump up sprayer. These are corrosive chemicals. You wanna be careful. You wanna wear gloves. If you're getting down close to it, wear a mask, things like that. But we're gonna put, this is a 2-gallon mix that we're making. We're gonna put 1 cup per gallon, so 2 cups in this 2-gallon sprayer. We already have 1.5 gallons of water. We're gonna put 2 cups of our wood stripper in there. We're gonna fill it up to the 2-gallon mark with our butyl booster. This stuff's gonna get hot, so you wanna make sure and have your area covered underneath you, and just so you don't make any spills, just be safe with what you're doing. And if you spill a little bit of your chemicals on the rim, that's okay. You can use your butyl booster to pour it in there. All right. So all you need to do with this is put the lid on it, and I would give it a little shake, agitate it a little bit, just get it mixed up. It's gonna get really hot, so there you go. All right, Cody's gonna just give this a little shake, agitate it a little bit. This wood stripper is gonna make a lot of heat, so it's gonna get hot. It could burn your hands, so you need to just be really careful when you're using these chemicals like this. And we'll get started. Okay, so we're gonna apply this stripper liberally, and you can see it's already making a change in this wood. And Joey's blocking the house here. We're just trying to keep any unnecessary stripper off the house. If we get some on it, we got a few minutes, we can rinse it off. But that's it. We're gonna go ahead and apply this stuff liberally on it, and see what happens. So it's only been about 5 minutes. Cody's still actually spraying the stripper on, and I just want to show you the effectiveness of this stripper. It's moving fast. So there's some coatings that are a lot harder to strip, but this one looks like it's not going to be too hard. We're going to give it just a few more minutes, but once you start seeing this, you know you're getting pay dirt. It's not as easy down here, so we're going to let it sit, but that's what you're looking for. That's when you can do that all over the deck, you know it's time to start rinsing and power washing this stuff away. All right, guys, a word of caution: when you're doing strip jobs like this thing is slick, so just be very careful. Once you get your stuff up top, you need to be very careful walking on it, because you can fall and break your neck. So just keep that in mind. All right, so they're getting the power washer fired up. They're gonna rinse the house. They're gonna start wetting a lot of the stuff down in the yard, just so when this coating comes off, it doesn't stick. It's gonna make it easier for us to clean up when we're finished. But they're gonna They're going to start washing, rinsing the house, let all that be wet, and then they're just going to start with the board closest to the house, and they're going to make a fan pattern about as wide as the board, and just like a broom, they're just going to sweep this old coating all the way off. Full length passes all the way down, come back, keep going. And as they do that, you're going to see that coating just start peeling off like butter, exposing the bare wood right underneath. So can't wait to see it. Let's get started. We got to brighten this thing now. Almost finished getting all the old stain off, so we're going to go ahead and mix up our brightener. We're going about a cup a gallon, pretty standard. So 2 cups in this 2-gallon sprayer, and we're going to let it sit a little while. He's mixed it up. I really like to mix it ahead of time if you can. You can mix it in a bucket with like a strainer, like a paint strainer. You can put your brightener in the paint strainer and let it steep like a bag of tea. You can do that, or you can mix it up just like we did with a little bit of pressure. Either way works just fine. All right, so we're kind of down to the end of this project. Cody is adding a brightener, a wood brightener to this deck, and a lot of guys kind of turn their nose up at brighteners, or maybe they don't know what they are, they just don't use them. But the brightener will actually neutralize the cleaning chemicals that we used for this in the stripper, which is a good thing because you don't want the stripper to be present when you apply your coating, or it's cause issues down the road. So this brightener is going to neutralize it, and it's going to brighten the wood. It's going to make it look different. You notice how it looks dark in a lot of places. It's kind of splotchy. This brightener is going to kind of even the playing field. It's going to make the wood look nice and bright. And I recommend using it on any kind of oxidizing chemical, anything from bleach to sodium percarbonate up to these strippers or things like that. So we're going to sand this deck. So we didn't take a ton of time to really dig into the really hard spots. So we're going to sand it anyway. So if you got a deck that you're not going to sand, I recommend you just go ahead and plan on sanding it anyway. So. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I wanted to give you a quick run through of the products we used for this deck restoration in case you didn't catch it in the clip. So we started off with a deck that was a 1.5-year old, well maybe 2 or 3 year old deck with a 1.5-year old coating. That was a water-based semi-transparent coating on the floor in a solid color on the bench. As you could see, they started to fail. They were peeling in some areas they were still intact. So we applied a stripper, and what we used was the Stain Seal Experts wood stripper, and we boosted it with butyl boost. The reason we boosted it with butyl boost is because strippers work really good on oil-based coatings, but not water-based. This butyl is the magic liquid that we add in. And what that thing does, the butyl is just basically a water-based solvent. So when you put it into the mix of the stripper, it just makes those water-based coatings just melt off like butter. We let that set for about 15 minutes, and the results that you saw, that's what we got after about a 15-minute dwell time. Did the power wash rinse, and then we added in the wood brightener. The reason we do a wood brightener is because, for one, it brightens the wood. It takes the wood from the really dark brown look over to a more golden or cedar color, depending on the wood species. So you always want to use the brightener, but the brightener also stops the stripper from working. It neutralizes it, and it opens the wood grain up and lets that wood grain really pop open so it'll accept stain better. So that is it. We used the wood stripper with the butyl boost and the wood brightener, and that was it on this. So when we come back to finish it, we're going to use walnut deck stain on it. And that is it. We really appreciate you watching. If you've got any requests or comments, please leave them below and subscribe, and please like and share this with your friends.